Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to very late night at the shop. Excuse me for that. Um, we have a little different view for you too, because we are doing something a little different with regards to uh, what we normally do in here, which is normally work on full and complete cars. So what we have right here, and I'll show you guys. We have our Toyota 1MZ that we took out of the Camry, and it's on an engine stand. And this is going to get cleaned up, and there's a bunch of stuff we have to take off: power steering and air compressor, air conditioning compressor, and all that stuff. So this engine is going to get cleaned up and get ready to drop into the race car. So we have engines in here. We also, whoops, sorry, it spun around over there, and it's a little hard to see. Right there is a 383 stroker. Where is he? He's right there. He's under that car cover, and I got to move these tanks and that vacuum and that stuff. And we're going to take that hoist, this hoist, and we're going to lift up that 383, and we're going to put him on this engine stand. That is the one project for tonight. I was hopeful that we would have a different car in here. Brian told me that he's got a different car. It's ready to come in, but we haven't seen it yet. So I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about it. So I was kind of hopeful for that. And that's why I was kind of waiting, see if he showed up, whatever. So I figured I'd show you guys how to take an engine from on the ground, or in this case, I believe it's on a tire. Yeah, it's on an old race tire, and take it from the ground up onto an engine stand where you can work on it, do whatever you need. Now, this is obviously just a bare engine stand. And then it has this guy. And this guy has movable arms, so you can put him on the different holes on the engine block and balance him and then swivel him however. So he goes in like so. And then there's a little pin and he spins. So the easiest way to do this is to get the engine up elevated where you can put just this section on, and then you look down the barrel here and you see the crank or whatever is the center of your engine. Usually it's the crankshaft. You look down this barrel, and when you're centered on that, tighten everything up. Then you move the red guy, the wheels, move that base into position, slide that guy in, put the pin in, lower the hoist. You're done. And then you can wheel the engine around wherever you need it. So we need to get that thing up off of the floor. And the crate back there is the crate that the other 383 stroker came in. We're going to use it eventually probably for this. But I wanted to show you guys how we're going to lift this engine up. So I got to clean out a bunch of the stuff that's stored right here in the corner. And we'll get to that engine, get it lifted up, get it onto this. So it'll take a little while because once again, I'm by myself, so I don't have a ton of help with this. It's a little different than what we did with the 1MZ. We're going to use what's called a carb plate. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So for right now, we're going to move things out of the way so that we can hoist the engine. So Cadillac grill, the ever popular shop vac, which is caught on an extension cord. And we have our fuel pump shield. We have our passenger seat for the MR6, which we obviously need to get out of the way. This is a passenger seat. You can see the bolts are still right there. Slide this guy where we know he is officially out of the way. Some miscellaneous paper towels and the cloth. And these are the seats for the limo, but they're not really in the way right now. Got a couple of folding chairs and some on the back of it. We're gonna move around as well. Move some of the stuff in the back here because I had to get the engine hoist out of there. I don't even know what this is. I think this is someone's car wash stuff. I don't even know where that came from. Some older folding chairs. They have a really nice sunshade on them. Power inverter and an old rolling stool that only has 3 wheels, so it's not very rolly. This is a car cover. I actually think this is, I don't know what this is a car cover for, but it's a pretty nice car cover. This guy, look at this. So we have a carb on top here. It's a brand new Holley 7180 4-barrel carb. This is our engine. And it's very heavy. So we're going to try and get enough room here. We got a whole bunch of leaves and stuff that have been caught in here by the wind, so we'll blow those guys out too. It's also, it's kind of good to get the stuff out of the shop that you're not using all the time. By the way, that clip that I just put away actually flung off of the 1MZ when we started. It was on one of the timing belts. So I'm trying to think of a better position for you guys. I'll just try and get you a little bit closer here so you can sort of see what's happening with the hoist and all of that. So what we have to do, we have to disconnect this carb and we have to unbolt it. And where did my carb plate go? I believe he's over there. I think. Yeah. I thought I had him out already, but I guess not. There's my chain. I don't know where my carb plate is. You can't be very far. Because he's absolutely required. This is spare, not a spare, this is the original engine from Conky. He will get rebuilt. This is a furniture dolly. It's got some leaves and cobwebs in it. Get rid of those. And there are some brake rotors here. I don't know who those belong to. They should have went with all the scrap metal, but they did not. Does anybody see a carb plate? Where the hell is it? I swear I had it. It was extremely close by. No. It's not in any of these boxes. No, that is stuff for the trailer. How heavy is a carb plate? Just had it. That's what I do most of the time in the shop, is look around for stuff that I just had. Just had it. Where did it go? It's not any of this stuff. This is all cleaning and older stuff. Where's the carb plate? He's got to be over here with all the hoisting stuff. Has to be. Because I saw him earlier today. I was like, yeah, you need a carb plate. Where the hell did he go? Would you believe I have a T-vid system for a 4-inch? Oh, come on. It's ridiculous. I don't think he's in the toolbox anywhere. I didn't put him in any of that stuff. hell did we go? Come on. This is silly. Just had him. Damn it. I just had him earlier today. Just don't know where he went. Or hell, someone came in and took him. That would kind of suck. Come on, where did you go? It's big silver plate, can't really miss it. This is so stupid. It's not up here with the axles or any of the other stuff. Here's a big gold plate if you guys see him anywhere, let me know. Where the hell did he go? This is nuts. I'm not over with batteries and any of this stuff. Whoa, just brown stuff. Squeegee and lug nuts. Oh, this is so frustrating. I just had him. Where the hell did he go? He has the chains and everything with him too. It's not with any of this stuff. Sorry, folks. This is not what I was planning. Where the hell did he go? Hey, I found a random glove, which is a good thing. See, this is another set of gloves. Well, here's another glove over here. Where the hell's the card plate? Come on. I didn't give it to anybody. I didn't loan it to anybody. I don't know why there's a jack underneath my toolbox. Come on. It's a card plate, chains. Alright, let's look. Toolbox. I'm 99% sure he's not in here. Yeah, he's not. He's not in the locker. Oh, come on. This is embarrassing. This is really embarrassing. Because I just saw him this morning. I just don't know where he went. He had all the chains on him, everything was there. This is so embarrassing. Oh, it is totally embarrassing because he's literally right in front of me. He's on the engine hoist. So this is called a card plate. And as you can see, he's got a nice lifting point and he's got all these holes and he works with a bunch of different carbs. So this is how you lift that engine up. Such a goof. Looking all around, it's right in front of me. So set him up here. We're going to use AN wrench just to take this fuel line off. Then we have 4 bolts. I believe they're 9/16. The carb will lift right off. So give me a second to grab an AN wrench and the 9/16, the zoomer. Actually, I don't want to use the zoomer. I'm just going to do it by hand. Just going to grab a 1/2 inch just in case I'm off. Not a wall socket. God, that's embarrassing as hell. So Hopefully you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. I'll bring it closer for this part. So we can come down to the 383. Oh, they are 1/2 inch. I never remember if they're 1/2 inch or 9/16. Now this carburetor's never been used. This came on the 383 stroker that I got from Summit that was in this crate. But since I had the Sniper EFI, I just moved it over to this engine. I don't know, what is this stuff? Got a washer and a nut here. So we're going to put this guy back on after we get him on the engine stand. This is a really, really nice carburetor. A whole bunch of linkage stuff in the way here. And I think there's a gasket under here too. That guy is really hard to get off of there because of the linkage in the way. So might have to do a little cheater move here. After we get this one, not a cheater move, just a smart move. So now we have the carb totally loose. Lift off, slide that guy out of the way. Even though he doesn't want to come out now, we're going to help him. Now he's stuck. Okay. Come here, buddy. You just don't want stuff to slip down inside there. So we have our carb totally loose. Let's do the, probably should have gotten the fuel line loose first, but doesn't really make a difference in this case. So that guy, AM. What size AM was that, you guys? 4 or 6? I think he's a 4. He might be a 6. There's no -5 in it. So, yeah, he's a 6. So with AN fittings and any aluminum fittings, JIC, whatever, you want to use AN wrenches. These are very specific. They're aluminum. They grab onto the nut side, and they're very specific. They don't scratch the aluminum, and they grab very, very snugly. And fittings are great because it's finger tight and then a quarter or half a turn. That's all you need. It's a metal to metal seal. It's actually a very, very good seal. So now we can move our plug wires out of the way, lift our beautiful Holley and the gasket off. This is our brand new Holley carburetor. Never had a lick of gas through it. We're going to set him to the side. So we're going to put him back on after get everything moved. But for now, we're going to put our carb plate on. Now, the reason I kept those bolts and washers is because I'm going to use them to hold the carb plate on. So this is where it gets kind of fun. I still have that socket in here. So I'm going to put that socket back here. So one washer, and I still have the key to the bathroom in the Kinkajuice room. So it's just feeding cake juice. So washer first. Don't forget, washers have a side. Please do them correctly. And then nuts, and this thing does not need to be torqued down. It needs to be snug. That is it. This thing could use a dust off too. So we're going to come back over here. Since we're here, moving all these guys, we got a lot of cleanup to do. Again, I'm just going, you can see how tight I'm not making them. Add some spare thread on them. I'm just doing them like wrist tight. That's it. That's all the tighter it really needs to be, because we're going to be lifting from here. So that's where we're going to be lifting from. And these are actually strong enough. These are only 1/4 20s, but they're very, very strong. When you spread them out like that, it works really well. Gosh, my toolbox is such a mess. I don't know why I'm taking it apart. I'm going to use that stuff when we finish all this. I'm just going to keep everything together. And tonight is brought to you by Rockstar. But this is the OG. This is the original flavor Rockstar. This stuff is very, very hard to find. It is definitely a different flavor than the other. So now we're going to put our gloves back on. We're going to bring the hoist over, attach it to this, raise this engine up. So as you can see, he's kind of just resting on an old race tire. So I'm going to put this chain away because I don't need him right now. And do the gloves. Oh, they're over there. Okay, so I'm going to back you guys up a little bit so that you can see kind of what's going to happen here. The engine hoist is kind of large because it does 2.5 tons. So I think it's 2.5. How much does it do? 2.25. I'm sorry, 2.25 ton hoist. So I'll back you guys up, and hopefully you can still kind of see everything that's happening here once we get it raised up. Yeah, and you get to see the front door of the shop and all the signs and stuff. All right. It takes a little while to swing this thing into place because it is very large. Believe it or not, I'm going to move you guys a little bit just for a second. All right, so we have our hoist in position, and I'm sorry the chat's not working. It just told me that, hey, something went wrong. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten this arm so it holds more weight. When it's all the way out here, it only holds a little more than 1/2 ton, and I don't really need all this extra distance. So I'm going to go back and actually hold the full ton, 1.25 tons. Maybe? What the hell? Okay, there you go. when he has that leveler on there, he's a little bit heavy. So we're going to bring this down. This is weird doing it from cramped quarters. And try and set the leveler kind of in the middle, because the carb is kind of in the middle. So you can see this guy. I just crank him, and he has a really fine thread in there. Helps level engines out. And we'll probably use that to unlevel him when we put him in the Now, how did we have this before? Okay, let me gloves off for this because I have to do nuts and bolts. One side goes in one side and one side goes in the other. And then we nut and bolt it. Correct? Yeah. That's how we did it before. Actually, set these two guys to the side, and then we'll just use the nuts and bolts as safeties. We'll try and get this as low as possible. All right, there we go. The levelers like chain link. They are big fans of chain link. Now I got to keep them away from the distributor, all that stuff. So this is where this guy's going to go. I'm going to run nut and bolt. Couple washers through there. And that will hold him on this side. And on this side, I don't have any excess here. We can bring the whole hoist forward a little bit. No. Right about there, maybe. Just need that one extra link. I'm going to come down just a touch so I can get that last link. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Does not want to come through there. Come on, buddy. Friend did it on the other side. You can do it on this side. There you go. Almost. You're almost there. Of course, this is interfering. Oh, you know what the problem is? He's twisted here. There we go. There we can actually go one plus. Should be right here. Okay. What a mess. just from a little twisted chain. I can't see that though because I have the leveling bar in the way. The bar here wouldn't let me see the chain. So now we're attached here and we can start jacking this thing up. Now what's nice about this, it's my friend Nick's engine hoist. This thing's fantastic. It has a fifth wheel in the center, which really helps balance things. So now we just use the handle to pump up, make sure our release valve is closed and give it some pumps. Before we get it too far off the ground, we're just going to make sure it's all secure with everything. So we can rotate it, a little shake. Awesome. So that's great news. Now, when you're moving this thing around, it's best to leave it as low as possible. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, if something breaks, it's not going to fall, but it's not going to fall very far. Number two, it's actually a lot easier to move around when your center of gravity is a lot lower. And this thing is a big ass center of gravity. So we're going to leave him right there because he's going to clear the old tire and he's going to come out. We're going to be in good shape. So I'm going to move you guys back so I can pull this whole engine back. And hopefully this is far enough away for you. You guys are over by the other lift post. And you can see our other engine mount right there, and that's our other engine stand right here. So let's get this thing pulled out. Just go nice and slow. And you got to do kind of wide turns because the legs are very, very long. And then whenever you get them into position, that's when you can raise them up to the height that you need. Right here, I need to swing them around. I'm gonna have to do like a 25-point turn. So extension cord and a bunch of other stuff in there. And that's okay if you have to do a bunch of turns. Just be patient with it. It is a big piece. It is a very heavy piece. So come on back here. So I have to swing them 180 degrees, which is not easy to do in tight quarters. But we get it. There we go. And again, I'm going to have to move them a little bit more, but we're okay. Again, it's very easy to move this when I have the engine super low. He's not swinging a whole bunch. And the hard part is getting over the little tiny bits of whatever's on the floor. These steel wheels, man. So, coming towards you guys. And then I'm going to come back a little bit and come at an angle, kind of. Hopefully that angle works pretty well. This is where I want to be because I'm going to be close for you guys to see the back of it. And I'm going to raise it up now. This engine's a little bit different than your average 383 stroke. So this has the Vortec heads on them, and the Vortec heads are great for torque. They're from the truck engines. The difference is you have a different kind of valve cover for the Vortec heads. So the valve covers are very hard to find, especially ones that say 383 stroke are on. The other difference, if you want to just visibly look at a Chevy small block and see immediately if it's a stroker or not, whether it says it or not on the valve covers or air cleaner or whatever, you can look for where the dipstick is. Now, if the dipstick is on the passenger side, it is a stroker. If the dipstick is on the original driver's side, that's where it is on most small blocks, right back here, that means it's not a stroker. The reason they do that is because they get it out of the way of the crank. If you have a 400, a crank for a 400 small block, which is what you need for the 3-3 stroker, then your crank will hit the dipstick on this side. That sucks. You don't want that. So that's one very quick, easy way to tell. With this engine, I don't think we're going to center on the crank. I believe that's way too low. So what we're going to do is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 very nice holes here. Here's our crank, and we're going to work off of these 6 holes. So we're going to do 2 lowers and 2 uppers, and we're going to get it as even and as medium as possible. And that should be, I guess if we go with the cam, we should be able to, this is the back side of the cam housing. We should be able to have kind of a middle ground there that gets us even. I don't do a lot of small block Chevys, so I don't really know. The one thing that we have for this that I have bolts for it, brand new. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are, I believe they're just 3/8/16. They should be. Yep. These are just grade 5. You don't really need grade 8. And they go right here, and then they go into the block. And because these are a little bit long, we have spacers. So we have our thick washers. And depending, I don't think any of these go through. This one does go through. This is the only one that goes through. These guys do not. So we just need to be a little bit careful with depth and make sure that we have a washer on the backside for the bolt head, which we use the small washers for. And then if we need to add more spacers, we have these guys. I also have other spacers I can use too. So we'll set these here. 2 bolts on this side. 2 spacers here. Okay, there we go. And 2 bolts on this side. And like I said, we're going to take this off, and we're going to move our engine stand out of the way. And then we're going to get this guy as centered as possible on there. We should be, I believe we had this on here before. So aside from the lower 2, we should be, no, not even close. Maybe these. Nope, they were for a different engine. So we're gonna use this, our 7/8, no, sorry, 3/4, and loosen all these guys. And we have a wrench to the inside. Come on. Anyway, this is terribly unexciting. I'll do this as quick as possible. And then we can get to all the cool stuff. So the nice part about this is we know where these holes are. We know which holes we're going to use. So we can put the bolts in there. Now, the difference is, if you look at this, you can see these 2 are slotted horizontal and these 2 are slotted at a 45. So we're going to flip this around, and we're going to use the top ones for the slots, and we're going to use the bottom ones for the wide, because we need that width. So let's start up top with a regular washer and a thick washer. And at least just get this guy started. So we're going to start with top left. And just to let you guys know, this thing weighs about 15 pounds. And it is not light. And it is swinging all over the place, along with the engine that just swings around. So we've got another bolt here. We've got another washer and another big spacer. And we're going to come up and do this side. Of course, where I grabbed it. Yep, there we go. And please, please, please thread these by hand. I cannot stress that enough. Please start the threads by hand. Please, please, please. I know you want to zoom them in. I know that. Please don't. Again, regular small washer and a thick fender washer. We're going to come up to this guy. And if the block would stop swinging around, it'd be a lot easier to get this thing in there. So please, please, please start these by hand. You do not want to strip them out. It is a bad thing when that happens. This guy, we're going to do same. So now what you want to do with these guys is just get them snug. We might need more spacers on here. So these guys you want to just have snug so they don't have a lot of in and out play. And then we will come up and we'll adjust this. He's going to go kind of level and then maxed. So yeah, that's probably going to be the best way to do that. This is the wrong size for this. Actually, I'm just going to do that now. If I can. These guys are going to be maxed to the inside. I'm just going to try and keep them as straight as possible. These guys we have to keep even on the outside. All right, you can't really do that without a socket and a wrench. So you have to snug him up. And then bring him up. And then hold him with a wrench. Oh, crap. This is why it's way better with two people. Way better. Somehow I have to have that guy stay right there. Now I'm trying to hold this and the engine block keeps trying to swing around. Okay, there's one. Okay. Trying to get him pretty close to center. Not really, but it's actually not terrible. So if we can maybe slide him over a touch. He's pretty close on the crank. He definitely needs to come over. That's a little bit better. Just gonna do him finger tight. do him finger tight. And do a little bit more than finger tight. Let's see if we can do a tappy tap with the hammer after we get these guys loose up here. See if we can tap him over to center. He's really, really close. But I'm kind of meticulous about this because the balance, and when you're working on engines, you want to be able to flip it over and stuff. So yeah, of course it wasn't tight enough at all. Of course, the only one that is tight is the one that I need to move. So that is way better. If I can get him to stay there. This is hard. This thing just keeps wanting to slip. He's dying to slip down. Yeah. That is way better. Okay. Here we go. This is definitely the most difficult part of doing all this. Getting this thing centered up and balanced is far and away the hardest part. So we'll come back and double check those. Let's get these guys set in here. And we're gonna use a zoomer for that, just because I can tell we need taller. We need a spacer here, a spacer here. We use another big washer down there, and we will use another spacer here. So we're gonna grab some of these washers. See how many we need per. See if we have enough to go around. So we've got. Stay there. Wow. Oh, he's not threaded all the way in yet. Sorry. I'm measuring before threading everything. What size is he? He's 2 8/16, so he's going to be 9/16. Is that right? Where the hell did all my jet wrenches go? I have 3 jet wrenches, but I'm missing. Oh, well, I have 2 out right now. I guess that's partly on me. Yeah. So that's bottomed all the way out. Do these by hand to figure out how much bottom out space, or how much space we have left after they bottom out. That'll tell us how many washers we need, and then we can just zoom them in. This guy, he should thread all the way through. But we're gonna give him some spacers anyway. So for this, we need 2. So let me grab a zoomer. I know it's gonna make some noise, and I apologize. It'll be quick, I promise. So bottom guy we said 2, correct? Take those, add those 2. And sometimes you'll have a flywheel on here, or sometimes you'll have an entire clutch. And in that case, you'll need spacers on the other side. There we go. There's one tight. Oh. What do we say for this guy? 2 on this guy as well. Yep, 2 gets us tight. So it should be pretty similar on all of these. Now there is hardware specifically for GM small blocks, all that jazz. I'm gonna do 2 on that guy too. But this is stuff that I have just for all sorts of different engine mounts, so I didn't do any hardware stuff. I believe these are 2.5 or 3-inch bolts. Grade 16. Coarse thread. This guy, we're gonna add a couple of, we'll just put the rest of them on here. And that'll work. Now all the washers are safe. And what is that? And we're done. So now we have ready to go on the engine stand. Now also, if for some reason you put it on the engine stand and he's not totally balanced, or he wants to fall in one direction or the other, you can always adjust those. You just put the car plate back on, hoist it up. You can grab from different points if you don't want to do the car plate. But this is a quick and easy way. I'm sure someone's got a way better method. This is just how I'm doing it. It's worked pretty well. Let's see if I can go away. I'm just going to put some tools away quick. So forgive the noise. And now all we have to do is get this guy to this guy's height. So I'll swing you guys around so you can kind of see how this is going to go together. And tilt you down a little bit. I'll give you kind of an angle on this. So we're going to raise up. And there's a couple different ways to do this, but let me show you how I do it. Now, I'm obviously higher than this. So what I can do is if I really want to, I can crank this guy and tilt him down so that he meets this. Now, the other thing I can do, because this isn't very heavy, is I can lift him and slide him on there. And that's pretty quick and easy. Let me get the locator pin for this. And he is right here. Locator pin goes right in the way. Now I can lower this. Nice and smooth. Oh, I gotta make sure he stays out of the way of the actual lift. The one wheel's trying to grab. Oh, come on, you little bastard. Okay, he's out of the way. And there we go. Please don't snap. And you can see this guy got loose. So now we are officially on our rolling engine stand. So the good part is we can undo this. We got to take it all the way off because why did that washer get stuck on there? We have to get this chain out. Now we can put this bolt in the washer. Where the hell did he go? no. You gotta be careful. Damn it, where did that washer go? Oh, what the hell is in here? This is another kind of thing. Where the hell did the washer go? It's not in there? I swear that washer was in there. Oh, he's right here. He actually didn't fall in. This is a temp sensor, I believe. Not sure why he's in there, but he's going to stay with this engine. Okay, we are done with the carb plate, and we're done with the engine hoist. So move the engine hoist out of the way first. Kind of. And then borrow this handle from the other. And we'll move this over to where you guys can see him. He is not light. All right. And then I'll tilt up and bring you guys back here a little bit. So we are done with the engine hoist for now. I'm going to do a bunch of cleanup back there, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. And then these guys, remember, they were just on there kind of regular snug. So we're going to pull them off. Again, this is kind of where you want to be careful. You don't want one of your nuts or washers falling in the intake. It's always a mess to get it out without taking everything apart. So just do one component at a time. Put it in your pocket. Very difficult to go from your pocket to inside the intake manifold. And this is actually a high-rise intake manifold. This engine, when it ran, was pretty skookum. I'm not sure what happened to that cam seal. The cam bearing seal on the front side is not correct, and that's why this engine's getting a little refresh. It's a super strong engine, came out of a Monte Carlo, 10-second Monte Carlo. So why is this thing, these guys were all super smooth. Okay, better. So one nut, one washer. Now our carb plate can come off, and we'll put our carb plate where we normally put our engine stuff. I don't know why he's in the hoist. There's all of our engine lifting stuff. And now our carb can go back on. And make sure it goes the right direction. Didn't believe how many people actually put carbs on backwards. Oh, our gasket is over here. This gasket is kind of unidirectional, I believe. Yeah. The gasket's unidirectional, so he can go on. As long as he fits one way, he's going to fit the other way. There's no, I don't think there's a, yeah, there's not a specific way. We have our fuel line over here, and our linkage is usually driver's side. That's an easy way to remember it, because the gas pedal's over there. It's an easy way to remember. For me, it is. So now we have that covered. We can come back. Remember, washers have faces. I should say washers have sides. They're not ambidextrous. I'm going to do that guy last because he's the most difficult. Now, same thing here. When you have a carb and it's open like this, you can drop stuff in there. It's not good. So again, just be really careful. You trip over extension cords or someone's half inch or something like that. All of a sudden you get a big mess. So washer goes down. This is the nice part about this is I can just use gravity here. Before I was fighting gravity. So we're just going to give this a snug up because we don't know what's going to happen, whether the manifold has to get pulled off or not. So we're just going to make sure he is nice and tight. If we do need to run him, nothing's going to be hurt. But if someone checks it, they're going to come back and they'll torque it to spec. So there we go. Nice and snug. Again, you don't have to crank down on carbs. They have a really nice gasket in there. So the last thing we're going to do is this fuel line. The fuel pump's down here. It's a mechanical fuel pump on this engine. And we're going to thread him by hand, and then we're going to grab our wrench and give it a quarter half turn. Use -6, correct? Drag this back. We need our -6. And again, this is a swivel fitting, so you can kind of put it wherever you want it. And, you know, this works pretty good. Right here. I guess we can move it wherever. And then, again, just you do finger tight. That's it. You're done. It honestly doesn't need anything more than that. So the last thing we'll do, we'll try and keep stuff out of the car. And because I have spare air cleaners here, I'm going to grab one of these. This one says 454 on it. How about if we use that one? Does that sound good? We'll use some of the cloths and just wipe off the dust. And make sure. Oh, this was the one that was cut out, which is fine. The guy had a cutout. Oh, he doesn't fit on here, does he? Oh, yeah, he does. Not really. What is the cutout for? Oh. No. No, what he's hitting on. Oh, he's hitting up here. Yeah, so these deep ones, when they're deep like this, sometimes they don't work with these. I don't think I have a non-deep one. No, they're all deep ones. So we'll try this one. I'm actually gonna bring this one back up. I'm gonna try this one too. They're both deeps, but maybe this one fits a little better. I don't know. We'll try it. Now this is the problem with the deep ones. You need that clearance, or you need a spacer on top of the carb because it doesn't. All the linkage and stuff touches down there. So we're going to use this older one because it'll just be a temporary. And where did we go? Here? No. Wait. I thought he had clearance on. At some point he had really good clearance where he could just stay down. Oh, yeah, right there. Okay. That works good. Wow, this thing gathers a lot of dust just from being in the shop. It doesn't have to even be outside. This is also a brand new MSD distributor with brand new MSD wires. So, like I said, this engine's going to be in really nice shape once we get the cam bearing seal taken care of. Yeah, we'll dust all this stuff off. I'm not terribly worried about it. So leave the temp sensor in here, and we'll put the filter. This is at least some kind of protection to keep bugs and stuff out and keep it kind of clean inside there. And then our 454 shield. Why not, right? That's what came on the 454 that I had. So I don't need to put anything on there. He's going to stay put. He's just going to stay like that. So we have our 383 stroker, and I'm going to tape off the exhaust ports. You can see they're not taped off right now because we were cranking over trying to find that leak. So yeah, it needs wire guides. I mean, it needs a lot of stuff here. So I'm okay with this for now. So hopefully you guys are okay with it, and it looks okay on your end. We have really nice 383 stroker, long water pump, Vortec heads. So we got that great torque, and high-rise intake manifold for a little bit more horsepower. Brand new water pump, brand new fuel pump, brand new car, brand new distributor, brand new wires, brand new valve covers, brand new damper and timing thing that I'm not really pleased about, but that's what Jegs gave me. Everything works really well on this. So we'll get that cam seal taken care of. And when that cam bearing seal is taken care of, this engine will either get put in something or it'll get sold. One of the two. So that's where we're at. And I'm going to bring you guys back over to the normal spot so you can see these two engines kind of, sort of side by side. Side-ish by side-ish. Oh, look at that. Look how pretty that is. So, yeah. These don't move around all that easy because they only turn from the two wheels up front. Well, that engine mount is different because I built the engine mount for this guy. So his four wheels turn, and they're also on rubber. So here's our two engines. One MZ and a 383. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I accidentally did. So that's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Ooh, I gotta put the 454 straight. Can't have that all jacked up, right? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, better. All right. If it faces the wrong way, you're not gonna be as fast. So yeah, again, tons of stuff to do on this. We got to pull power steering pump. We got to pull AC. This belt gets cut off. We got to get this axle out from the carrier bearing mount. We got to modify the carrier bearing mount. There's a whole ton of electronic stuff that garbage just has to come off of this that we don't use for our stuff. We want it to be a literal drop-in engine. The flywheel is going to get resurfaced this week, and the clutch is basically brand new, so we're going to leave the clutch. It's an OEM Exedi clutch. This does have a flywheel, which is over there. I'll show you guys. It's a brand new flywheel, never been used. So this is our flywheel for the 383. Starter ring, whatever you want to call it. This is actually a starter ring. And it says engine side, and it's SFI rated, so you can drag race with it. And that guy, he'll either get sold with the engine or he'll go on the engine. We didn't put it on there just so we had ease of access to the crankshaft and everything else. Although it would be smart to put them on because it's a lot easier to turn the engine over when you have that, but we won't need it until after we've done the cam bearing seal. So it's kind of in the way if we're going to do that. So we're going to leave that off. But yeah, two very happy engines. Well, one very happy engine, one engine that will be very happy. And now comes shop cleanup. This guy's going to get stored kind of back behind where you guys are. And this guy's going to get stored over here by the crate and the other Miata engine. That's where we're going to keep stuff. So my stuff is going to stay with my stuff. Other stuff is going to stay with other stuff. It's an easy way to do it. We also have the transaxle from this engine And I'll be doing a whole series on how to rebuild that, take it all apart and check everything, rebuild everything, bulletproof the entire trans. Those transmissions are pretty damn strong. So we're going to make it as strong as possible. Get stuff Cerakoted and painted, make it look nice too. Nothing wrong with that. Good protection. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it and saw how it's actually not hard to get an engine on an engine stand, even by yourself. But now you guys know how to do it. You don't have to be afraid of it. Engine stands are cheap. They're less than $100. And they'll basically hold anything. They'll hold a Toyota V6. They'll hold a Miata engine. They'll hold a lot of stuff. So, and definitely check the used market too. There's a lot of people who sell just the engine stands used, and they're usually cheap, $50, $60. And they've only been used once, right, to pull an engine and then put it back in, so people don't need it anymore. I've got a couple of stands used for like $50. It's a great way to do it. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely put it in the comments. Let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you see something I need to do differently, please tell me. Been kind of brought up one way, and if there's a better way to do it, I'd love to hear it. Absolutely love to hear it. I think that's about it. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying this. I've watched viewership and subscriptions and everything just go up exponentially in the last couple of weeks, and it's great to see. So I really appreciate it. Feel free to spread the word. And like I've said before, it's an open invite here at the shop. If you want to stop by, hang out on the chairs, come over here, ask questions. If you want to join in and, pull cams out of 383 strokers, you're welcome to join us. Just shoot me a message. I'll get you the address. You can cruise on over. And like I said, we usually do it after dinner time, so people can finish work, go home, shower, change, eat some food, and then cruise over and have a cool night hanging in the shop. So you guys are welcome to come over. I always enjoy that. If you want, we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do some more stuff on the 1MZ before we park it. And we're going to get it cleaned up. Well, we're going to get parts off. We're going to get power washed. We're going to paint some stuff. We're going to pull the exhaust and pull some other parts off of there. So we get it kind of sealed up and ready for Cerakoting. This thing's pretty much going to stay as is. Probably put it back over there and put the car cover on top and just keep it safe. Yeah, thanks again for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. It's a really, really cool thing to do. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Squeeze their hand. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's important for them, but it's really, really important for you. So thanks, everyone. And we will catch you here in the shop tomorrow. Hopefully, Brian brings that surprise by. What the hell is it? Wish he would tell me this stuff. I like surprises, but come on.